David Rodgers, and now here he is, Mr. Friday Night, the show pony himself, the man, the dream, the legendary David Rodgers.
Good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my God, are you kidding me? You mean, Dave, we are back on the air after about a month and a couple of weeks of hiatus? Yes, we are. Absolutely, we are. Y'all probably thought that we forgot about you. B, tell them, man, we didn't forget about them.
No, we didn't forget about them.
No,
we sure didn't.
We sure didn't.
No, not at all. They probably forgot about us, though.
Well, I was just getting ready to say they probably forgot about us, but that's okay. Hey, we are back. We're back in the saddle. Right here to my left, he is our host, one of our hosts. We got many hosts, but he's one of our hosts. He's my main host. This is the Byron Bagwell.
Good evening.
Hey, yeah, there you go. Tell him, B. Spit out a little
Good
something.
evening, brothers, sisters. Infidels. And patriots.
And miscreant.
miscreant.
There you go. Yeah, he remembered it. He did. Over here to my right is our director and producer. He is the one and only, the Dancing Destroyer, Super Dave Holland. Say hello to everybody, David.
Hello, everybody. It's good to say hello, everybody.
Yeah, it really is.
Hello, everybody.
You know, it's funny that we talk about, being back on the air and the different things that has gone on over the last month, a little over a month. And it's been a little bit for everybody. And I tell you, if it's not work-related, if it ain't work-related, it's health-related.
Yeah.
You know, as one of us is not feeling great, or two of us ain't feeling great, or there's things that are going on that beyond that, that we can't do the show. But I assure you, this man can attest to it. We do a lot of things together. This man, we all do. And it's great to be back to doing a show. Absolutely. And it's not that we don't want to do a show. It's when we come on, we've talked about this, me and you on the phone several times, Dave, about we all want to be 100%. We want to give you the best version of us.
Exactly.
For this show.
Yep.
It's a show driven by personalities. It's a show driven by our wanting to be here. And if we don't want to be here, then we don't want to do a show because it's going to carry over to our viewing audience.
Yep,
and we don't want that. We want to be the best versions of Byron Bagwell, Dave Holland, and Dave Rodgers, just like Mitchell wants to do on his show. And we'll talk about that too.
Yep.
But I'm just glad to be back. And before we really get started here, I do want to ask you guys, and you can get into it however you want to, but I'm going to propose a question to you here. I'll start with you, B. Over the last month, what have you been doing, brother? What's been going on since we haven't been able to do the shows? I think it's fair to let the audience know what we've all been into. So
that's good. Well, it's been work and work at home and putting up vegetables and spending time with the other half.
Yep.
And just basically running around like a chicken with his head cut off.
You know, me and you got really bad sinus issues, and I don't think anybody that's watched the show knows that we do. Was you sick at any during that time? I want to say, if you say no, that's been like one of the first times, like either you haven't been sick or I haven't been sick, and you were ready to do the show. I know several times you told me you were ready to do the show.
Yeah, I don't know that I had sinus issues this time, and most of my sinus issues tend to revolve around pine and oak pollen.
Yeah.
And the end of February through like April, I normally have issues. So it's possible that one of the early ones that we missed, that was going on. But
maybe, yeah. So, but the others, I think you were ready to go, wasn't you?
Pretty much, unless it was work related.
Right. And I think maybe once, maybe, if that.
Maybe so, but I'm not sure. But
right.
You know what? That and we called a game.
Yeah, we called them. We did, and we'll talk about that. Yeah, absolutely.
We called a game, and other than that, it's been just basically doing the normal, typical, everyday type stuff that you have to do in life.
Right. Dave, I'm going to throw it to you, and I'm going to ask you, You can say what you want to say about that. Well, what have you been doing over the last month and a week or whatever?
Well, I'm going to try to keep it kind of short, but
let them know. We got plenty of time.
About a year ago, I started having trouble walking.
Yep.
And cutting hair and having trouble standing was a little rough. So I got to a point to where I had to get off the floor. And about the last 6 months, I gained a wound on my foot. Mm-hmm. Not knowing what it was. I've seen 5 doctors. They didn't know what it was. Mm-hmm. And finally, a vascular doctor through the VA didn't really know, but they did some tests, and I had bad circulation in my left leg. Mm-hmm. So they went ahead and scheduled me an appointment, put me in the hospital, and did a bypass on my left leg to get blood down to my foot.
Right.
And I'm cutting it short, but man, they did an excellent job. Kept me for a week and 3 or 4 days.
And that's one of the reasons we missed one of the shows, for sure.
A few of them.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I've been out for just a little over 2 weeks now. Mm-hmm. And up to date, I got my toes got good, healthy color to them. I got blood flow in there. I saw my doctor today, and they checked me, and everything is fine. So they'll just keep an eye on me. And my walking is getting better. And I would like to say that probably within a month, I could be back on the floor.
That would be great.
Man.
That would be great.
That would be great if that's the case. But I know you're not going to push it. We talked a lot, and I know you tell me, hey, I'm relaxing. I'm trying to do what the doctors are telling me. And I've seen what you had today. Looks really good. And honestly, you're pepped up. I can see a little pep in your step.
There you go.
And I've seen it when I walked in the door, and I can really see it. There's a glow.
Yeah. Well,
there's a glow to you.
After 50 years, I'm passionate about my job. I'm passionate about the customers that come in and use me to get their haircuts. And God bless their hearts. I know they've had a lot of concern about who's going to cut their hair. And me, if I'm going to get better. I've had a lot of prayer.
Sure.
And I'll take all the prayer I can get.
There's one more.
So.
And up to date, I'm feeling better. I'm still a little rusty on the walk, but it's moving in the right direction.
Well, Dave, I'm glad I'm glad you gave that story because, people, I didn't want to say much. You know what I mean? I knew what was going on. I knew the in-depth stuff, but I didn't want to say because that's for you to say.
When we're not having a show, if it's 2 or 3 or 4 weeks, that doesn't mean that me or Dave or Mitchell or Byron doesn't talk. We talk on a regular basis just between us.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you a prime example. You just said what was going on with you, and yes, that was part of why we hadn't been on. If y'all don't know by now, which most of our viewers are constant viewers, and they come on each and every week. Dave Holland, all this graphics that you see in front of you, that's created by Dave Holland. Dave Holland knows his job. He is the producer, the director, and really the anchor of this show. I mean, if we don't have this right here, we're not doing the show. Is there other avenues? Sure. Yeah, there is. There's other things and other ways. But look, it's the camaraderie we have with us guys. We've been doing this for how many years, Dave?
8 September will be going into our 9th year.
We've been doing this for 9 years. Okay. Again, we miss shows here and there, but this is 9 years that we're on the air somehow, somewhere, some way. Me and Byron's talked about that. we're going to talk about the football game. I'm going to let Byron talk about that a little bit, that spring game and stuff. But, I'm glad you said what you said. Just because we're not on the air doesn't mean we don't care about the show. Now, could I do a little bit better job of communicating that we're postponing the show or there won't be a show? Yeah, I absolutely. There's a couple of weeks that I didn't do it. As a matter of fact, I had 1 week for Byron. I asked Byron to do it, or you can do it or whatever. We do need to get that out there. So people are just going, well, if they don't put something out there, what's going on? You know what I mean? And I've had people ask me that. I've had people at my work ask me that come and watch a show, man, and says, what's going on with this? What's going on with the show? And I should do a better job, and maybe we, if you want to call it, but me for sure, do a better job of posting like, hey, how many times has there been, and I'll get with Byron here in just a minute, on where we're planning on doing a show. Man, all day long. Bop, 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 bop. You know what I mean? We're ready. Then around 3:30, 4 o'clock, you're not feeling well. Byron may not be feeling well. I'm not feeling well. And guess what? Now, we're not going to do a show because we're for whatever reason. Oh, hey, we got a phone call coming in. Hey, who is that? Is that President Trump? See, folks.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely
it's the hotline. It's definitely President Trump.
It's definitely Trump.
Oh, it's somebody selling Bitcoin.
Oh, okay. Hey, how much you got there?
I'm broke.
Yeah, I'm broke too. But anyway, so I want to take this first little. I like to call it the 0 hour. Sure. The little first 0 hour here, where we're introducing ourselves and things like that to explain that just because we're not on doesn't mean that we've canceled, that we're not doing the show anymore. I assure you, if we're not doing the show anymore, there would be a last big time show, and we would post it that we're not doing the show anymore. But communication, Byron, as you've always said, is a big thing, and we have to communicate, and we'll do a better job from ourselves to communicate if something is going on or not right, or we're not going to do a show. We're going to do a better job, and we're going to try to do it in a timely manner. Like I said, sometimes we're ready to do the show, blah, 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 and then something comes up within the last 2 hours.
Something happens.
Something, and it's life, and like you said, it's going to happen.
Yeah, a lot of it is life, and the way, especially with me, because I never know where I'm going to be. 4:30 rolls around, I'm ready to head this way, and then all of a sudden I'm off to the nether reaches of Florida doing my job.
You're doing your job. And guess what? We've always said, and this is nothing that's a secret, your job comes first. You got to pay your bills. You got to do what you got to do, so the job comes first. There's many a times I've worked late, and I'm like, man, I'm going to be pushing to get here. Yeah. Or both of us in the same boat. I mean, Dave can't do the show by himself. He's trying to run the show, but I think he could.
Come on, he's the dancing destroyer.
Yeah, he is the dancing destroyer.
Come on.
By the way, somebody said you owe him the Cupid Shuffle. But anyway, we'll get to that when that foot gets better. But I've been just the same thing.
Things haven't changed, by the way.
No, absolutely not. So for me, I've just been concentrating on work. Work's a little rough out there where we're at, trying to, we're running 4 days a week out there, and, but they're doing good, and working around my yard, just trying to keep everything going around the household. And I was sick once or twice during that hiatus too, so back in the saddle again, as I said. So just wanted to take this few minutes to let you know we have not forgot about you. You are what drives this show. We love each and every one of you. And don't hesitate to message any of us. If you can say, hey, Byron, what is everything all right with the show? Is there whatever's going on? Byron will answer you back. No, we're just not having a show tonight due to whatever. So I just want to let everybody know that we're here for you guys, and every chance that we get, we're going to try to do a show. And Dave's back on the mend. Byron is healthy and ready to roll. Like he said, his is more work related than more of a sickness related. And then me, I'm going to try to be here as many times as I can. I've done this show without Byron. I don't like doing it. I'll be honest with you. Hey, sitting here talking for an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes, hour and 45 minutes, you know what I'm saying? How many, we could. Well,
if anybody could do it, it would be this man.
But I don't like doing it because I like the camaraderie that we have, and I like the back and forthness we got. Me and Dave do a good job. When you and Dave are here, y'all do a good job. But we like it when the whole team is here, and thank God we are here. So, again, welcome into the show, the Byron Bagwell, Mr. Dave Holland. Glad that you can join us. Got a lot of things to talk about. I know there's a lot of local things going on between Bradford County and Union County. Want to get into that a little bit with what we know, and we'll get to that here in just a few minutes. But I'm going to ask, as we always do, we want to start off with the prayer, the pledge, and a patriotic quote of the night, which I know my buddy has. So, Byron, I'm going to turn it over to you, and I'm going to let you say the prayer. I'm going to let you lead us in the pledge, and then I'm going to let you have your patriotic quotes of the night.
That's fine.
How about that? Let's do that.
All right. Dear Heavenly Father, like to thank you for this glorious day. We would like to thank you for this glorious day. Please bless all of our viewers, and please guide their hands in their daily lives and keep them on your path. Please guide and bless all of our nation, including and especially our politicians up in Washington, D.C. right now. There has been a lot of things going on that are not of your will. Please guide them. Please bless and guide our military, and please bless and guide our first responders. Any spoken or unspoken prayer requests, please guide your hand to them. We ask all of these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
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 All right. Well, Dave.
Like I haven't done a show in.
Oh, well, but you know what? That sounded perfect, man. I thought it was great. Didn't you, Dave? And that flowed like it was like nothing there. So,
we ready?
Yeah, we're ready. All right, we're ready for the pledge. And I said for Byron Bagwell to lead us, so let him lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, B. You did a wonderful job there, my brother. So why don't you continue on?
I wanted to kind of keep it short and sweet because, we talked a little bit about what we needed to talk about.
Sure.
To begin with.
Yeah.
The quote of the night, and I've used this one before.
Okay.
So, I have sworn upon the altar of God, eternal hostility against every form of tyranny over the mind of men. I have sworn upon the altar of God, eternal hostility against every form of tyranny over the mind of man.
That's powerful. Very powerful.
Man.
And I know a powerful man that was short in stature, and I'm probably going to be wrong. I'm going to say that's Thomas Jefferson.
Thomas Jefferson
He's
has
smart and sharp. Yes, he has. But I don't think that's it.
Is that a founding father?
Yes, it is a founding father.
So that's somebody back in the 1770s.
Okay, I'll narrow it down just a little bit.
Okay.
Not only was he a founding father, but he was a president.
President?
Mm-hmm.
Well, obviously my answer is wrong because I'm going to stick with Thomas Jefferson. I am. I know it's wrong, but I'm going to stick with it.
Is he a popular president?
Oh, one of the greatest presidents ever to live.
I'd have to say George Washington.
We've got George Washington and Thomas Jefferson. Anybody else care to guess?
Yeah, anybody else care to guess?
Anybody else care to guess?
Robert Gates said George Washington.
Yeah.
Sounds like something he would say. I think we're right in the ballpark. What do you got, B, on that one?
Well, you were right, David. It is Thomas Jefferson.
Hey!
I thought you were talking to me.
Thomas. Well, it was you. Yeah.
Hey, Thomas Jefferson.
What?
He said a lot.
When you're not here, you've even told me
this book that's that thick
Yeah.
is his autobiography, the Declaration of Independence, his public and private letters. That thick.
Wow. I will say this.
And that's not all of his writings either.
If you're not here, and I say, Byron, send me a quote, and you get busy and you can. Do you know where I go? Thomas Jefferson's.
Oh man,
I use all his quotes quite a bit. I don't know. I'm in love with that guy.
I'm in love with the majority of his thought process.
Yeah.
You talk about Jefferson. The man not only was a member of our government before there was our government. He was part of the one of the colony, Virginia colonies government under King George, but he was a member of our government after the Revolutionary War, when we were not even a republic, we were a confederacy, and then after they established the actual Constitution of the United States, which by the way he was not here for. He was actually in France.
He was. Yep.
When that was written.
Yep.
He was a member after that, and then he became president too, and I believe he served 2 terms.
He did.
So he was a very intelligent man. He was also a lawyer, which I don't hold against him. And I'm sorry, lawyers out there, but I mean he was.
Talk about your niece,
truly great man. I'm not going to hold that against her unless she becomes a defense lawyer, and then we might have issues.
Well, she's already told you that. But anyway,
I know.
Yeah, we'll have to cross that bridge.
Why do you think I said that?
We'll have to cross that bridge when we get to it. But anyway, let me get to some comments real quick. Lisa Moody Tomlinson's watching, said, good evening, guys. Robert McGee's on. Good evening, my brother. Mitchell Gunner's on. Good evening, brother. Mitchell Gunner said, that's great news, Dave, about you. And so did Lisa Tomlinson said that. And she said, continue prayers for you. Matt Peterson is on. Shirley Bagwell's on with Dwight Allen. Good evening there, pretty lady. How are you? Good evening, Mom. How are you? Scott Munnings is watching. I like Scott. Scott works over at, gosh, Lee, man, the rental place over there. I think Sunbelt Rentals. Yeah, it is. Sunbelt Rentals. Sunbelt Rentals, man, and he does a lot of stuff for us. So I'm sure if we need anything, he'd probably be the guy to get it. So got to keep Scott Munnings there. Okay, since you brought it up, D.A. Dennis Cruz, thank you very much. Mitchell, thank you very much. Yes, I did go see the concert last night. Yes, I'm paying the price for it today, even though I did go into work a little bit later, but I'm paying the price for it today.
Yeah, Mitchell bragging about your T-shirt.
Yeah, he said nice T-shirt. Of course, if you know anything about Styx, Byron, this is from where?
That's from the concert you went to last night.
Grand Illusion.
It's from the album
Grand Illusion.
Yeah.
And they played all their hits off of that. But let me go back and start. First and foremost, me and Shelly Rodgers, my beautiful wife that everybody pretty much knows, and we have been on a concert kick lately. Two and a half months or whatever, we went to sing Foreigner and Don Felder. What a great concert that was. Mm-hmm. And then we decided to go to this one. She found some really, really good seats. We were the third row back, right in the middle. And I mean, I got a couple of picks, by the way, from Don Felder. I couldn't get one from Styx. I need Michael Heater to get me one of those. Yeah. But from Kevin Cronin. So
from when there's a video floating around that Shelley put out there.
Yes, it is.
Of him playing Hotel California.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, dude! Let me tell you something. If Don Felder's from Gainesville, right outside of Gainesville, and he brags about being from there. And a couple of people tagged me on the post saying that my grandmother lived down the road. I think Gene McKenzie said that, and I think Cliff Smelly said his dad, right?
Yeah, there's more than one person that were in the Eagles that are from Gainesville.
Gainesville, yes.
Or the air.
The air, yes. Yeah. So anyway, we went to the concert. Man, Don Felder killed it again, just like he did before. I'll tell you, if I wanted to start a show of some sort, like a bike fest or or whatever, some kind of day on the green. Byron knows about the day on the green because I've seen his buddy that he loves so much.
Oh, Lord, man.
Yeah. Back in 82, B. Yeah, it's a long time ago. But anyway, I would really start it with Don Felder. He's got a good group. His voice is still great. He looks young. I mean, he's just, he's got it. But anyway, Don Felder did a fantastic job. I was really impressed with Kevin Cronin. I've always been an REO Speedwagon guy. Mm-hmm. So, he sang all of his hits, and plus a new album that he's got coming out too. But his band is called the Kevin Cronin Band now. So he did a wonderful job. And then Styx, man, I see why Michael Heater has the interest and the following that he has for these guys. And he is one of the biggest Styx fans I have ever met. Okay. But last night, David, Byron, Lisa, Shirley, anybody that's watching, if you would have went, oh my God, you'd have had that. We got a lot of video to dump and pictures to dump, but Styx was just wonderful.
You know the
light show, Byron, the light show they did, the background graphics that they did. Tommy Shaw, man. By the way, Shelley's in love with Tommy Shaw. She already told me that. Yeah. So he still looks young and good. JY was there. I mean, it was a fantastic concert. It was. I'll leave it at that.
The longer I live, the more I realize something. Styx has some fantastic band members, but I really honestly believe the driving force behind them all along is Tommy Shaw.
Oh, without a doubt.
That guy is just so musically gifted. It's unbelievable. Everything he's touched has done that. I mean, if you take a look at some people will remember this band, some people won't, but there was a super group called the Damn Yankees in the late 80s, early 90s that had him, Jack Blades from Night Ranger. And a certain guitarist / singer that just absolutely loves Donald Trump. That would be and why I'm drawing a blank now. Why can't I? Ted Nugent. Ted Nugent, and then the drummer from them in that band was, I think he played with Kiss, but I mean. And then he went off on a solo project with Jack Blades, and those albums, most people don't know about those, but the two albums they made together were fantastic. And he went back to Styx, which has been rolling ever since. And just a phenomenally talented man.
And group, and I'm going to tell you, last night, he has not lost anything with his vocals. His guitar playing is his guitar playing. I understand, but Tommy Shaw's vocals, buddy,
it's unbelievable.
It blew me away. Wow. I wish he would have been in the middle, but I understand why he was on the outside. But so we was at center stage. He was over to the right side of us, but because he needed to stay away from Mr. Keyboardist there, and I can't think of his name now, Lance something. Dennis DeYoung used to do all that. You know what I'm saying? And Dennis DeYoung is not with the band anymore.
Mr. Roboto.
And they played that last night. I'm sure Michael Heater was probably laughing at me. I got to say it sounded pretty good. But, I mean, anyway, great concert. Anybody that has not seen Styx needs to go and see them. They're a wonderful band. And like I said, I can see the Heaters. A passion about them. They put on a great show. They really do, and it was really good.
Well, you said something, and I'm curious of what you meant.
Okay.
Don't put him near the keyboard.
Yes. Byron probably could answer that a little bit more than I could.
There's a little bit of a riff.
There is. Yes.
And they don't like each other very much.
As soon as Roboto came on, I can tell you, JY doesn't like that song at all. I don't think, because, I mean, he just sort of, you know what I mean? And Tommy Shaw did a little bit, of his part when it came to that. But most of that was all the keyboardists, and of course they got the keyboard that spins around and he spins around. It's a show, It's a show for everybody, and he's a performer. And I get it, you know what I'm saying?
And that's really
that's what the people paid for.
One of the best bands from the late 60s, early 70s. You want to talk about strife on a stage. I can't imagine what was going on with Fleetwood Mac.
Oh, gosh.
They were all together at one point, and then they broke up, and they all hated each other, and they used that passion in their performances. I mean, that just...
a lot of bands have ended and come back together like that.
Oh, yeah.
So, we were talking about that, and we'll get some more. Let's see here. Dwight Allen's on. He says, good evening, fellow patriots.
Good evening, brother.
Laura Marie, how you doing? Good evening there. How you? Kay Colson Waters is on.
Hey.
Drew Mullins, if you haven't been, be sure to check out Monticello, a great Virginian and a great president. Absolutely.
I haven't been to Monticello, but it is on my bucket list.
Robert McGee said, I could have said George Jefferson. George Jefferson.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you get it.
Yeah.
The quote signifies a lifelong commitment to resisting tyranny. That's Mitchell Gunner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sylvia Clayton's watching. Roy Jackson's watching. Just think that Tommy Shaw was homeless before damn Yankees.
Pretty unbelievable.
Pretty unbelievable. You're right, though. Did they play your song, Mr. Roboto? Yeah, they played it, man. It was one of the end songs. I'm like, as soon as he hit that key, I'm like, are you kidding me? He's going to play Roboto? And I'm like, oh, my God. To me, and somebody just said it right there. Who said that? Dwight Allen. Horrible song. Honestly, I think it was the worst song they ever did.
Come on now, Domo Origato, Mr.
Oh, and he was doing that. Hey, the keyboardist, they was doing all that crap. And I'm telling you, J.Y. and Tommy Shaw wasn't really interested in that crap. I'm going to tell you right now.
I can't remember, but I'm sure that there's been a movie that has used that song.
There was a movie that was called Mr. Roboto.
Yeah, it was.
Something tells me that the record label made them do that song, and that's what they come up with. Well, not caring.
Yeah, but they did play it, and I gotta say, the light show, Byron, you would have loved it.
Oh, yeah.
And the video they put up in the background and stuff, that was really good. And the whole light show was really good. But I'm gonna be honest with you, and again, I love Styx, and I've got their album somewhere. Shelley's got their album somewhere. But I'm gonna tell you this. Honestly, if y'all was to ask me who I thought was the best person on there, I'm gonna tell you it's Don Felder. I thought Don Felder stole the show. But again, you got to be. What am I trying to say, Byron?
Old?
You got to be old, like I am. And I'm gonna tell you, I looked around, guys, and as we was coming through the parking lot, I bet you I didn't see a person under 60.
Well,
I'm telling you, I didn't see a person under 60. Everybody was old.
I would definitely go to that.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
Go see a show like that. The Styx, without doing any other song, I would go to see Styx for one song.
Which one?
Lady.
Yeah, and
that's such a well-written song.
He did that
back in the day when you got your album collection. You have a Styx album in there.
Oh yeah.
With the Who and Led Zeppelin.
Oh yeah, they all got
Styx. It was in there.
I've got 3 or 4 of them at the house now.
Like you were saying, you had Grand Illusion, you had Cornerstone, you had Pieces of Eight. You had all these different albums with all these different songs, and then on this particular tour, they concentrated on the Grand Illusion songs, and they played every one of them. So if you don't know, like Byron was saying, if you didn't know what was on the Grand Illusion album or whatever, you were probably going to be lost in some of the songs, because some of those songs, Byron, really didn't become actual big-time hits.
They were just on the album.
They were on the album, but, excuse my French, they were damn good.
They were good.
Oh, yes. Oh, absolutely.
And when you talk about somebody like Felder, you're talking about the guy that was in the Eagles, and all of those songs that the Eagles wrote and that he's written during his solo career. I mean, David.
Yeah.
You're talking about powerhouses.
Yeah.
Now, I love the Eagles. I do. I love the Eagles, but Styx was a really, really good band too.
They still are, and for them, Byron, to have original members still in those bands, because a lot of these bands, don't have their, like Foreigner. Well, yeah, or they have some kind of ailments, like Foreigner. Foreigner really, even though that the lead singer from Foreigner had been there with them many years. I mean, Lou Graham and Mick Jones, is that right? God, why am I brain?
Mick Jones was in the beat.
Mick, I can't think. Yeah, Mick. Gosh, I can't think of that. Anyway, they were the original members of Foreigner, and and now you've got everybody that's new, so they almost want to call them. And I seen a comment, a tribute band.
Oh yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you what, they sound exactly like Foreigner did back in the old Foreigner days, and Styx did too last night.
Well, you look at what the members of Styx.
Dwight Allen, the AARP tour. Dwight. Yeah, I said that too, Dwight, man. When I say, hey, I think I may have seen 3 young kids and they were selling soda pops. They were good at a concert, I can tell you that.
Well, you look at it now and nobody plays anymore. No. Honestly, it's all computer generated. It's all computer, that there are some bands out there that do that, but nobody records the way they used to. It's all done on computers, and sometimes it's done with people in different states. They don't play as bands. The music is not nearly as tight.
No.
And it does not have that emotional connection that used to be. I mean, it's changed. And if you talk about talent like what was on the stage that he saw last night, I mean, there is very, very few, and I do mean very few people from a newer generation that can come close to it. I mean, all.
So the Kevin Cronin band, if and you studied history and you know music history, Kevin Cronin was not an original member of REO. You did know that, right? He did not create that. They brought him in. There was 2 other guys that's no longer part of the band, but once they brought him in, Kevin Cronin pretty much became the lead of the whole band.
The whole band.
And he had 2 or 3, the drummer and the bassist, not the bassist, the lead, was part of REO Speedwagon. He said 30-something years. They've been together. 35, I want to say. 35 years.
Wow.
Crazy. And Styx, some of those members, 40, 45. One of the very first things they brought up is said the year, 1977. When Styx come on, think about that. 1977. You were already in the service. He was 5. And guess what? I was 15.
You were 5 in 77.
I was 5 in 77.
Yeah,
I was 22.
You was already gone to the service, I think, at that point, right?
I was getting out in 77.
You was getting out. I hadn't even graduated high school yet. I didn't graduate till 80. But I mean, 77. I mean, it drew us back. Me and Shelley's like 1977, and it showed what it was. It was a little video, and I'll get off this, and then we'll go into something else. So it was a kid. A typical teenage kid, he's flipping through albums. So the one on top was Styx, then it was REO Speedwagon, and then it was the Eagles, and then whatever. And then the last one was the album Grand Illusion. Mm-hmm. And he pulled it out, and he put it on his record player, and it showed him, and, put the needle on and everything. It was really good. It was great. So... yeah.
It's going to see these people. If you're going to go see some of the bands that we used to go see, you better go see them now because they're not going to be around much longer.
I'm glad you said that, Byron.
Because if you think about this,
it's a dying breed.
Well, not only is it a dying breed, but if you're in your 50s,
60s,
or early 60s, like these 2 gentlemen are. Those people, when they were growing up, those guys that were in those bands were somewhere between their 20s and their 30s.
Yep.
So you're talking about somebody that's really can't go run around touring anymore because that is not an easy life.
No,
it isn't.
You better go see them if you want to go see them.
So anyway, here we go. Let's see, where do we stop at? Oh, yeah, they played bravado. Curtis Knights is watching. Roy Jackson said, hey, strangers. Dwight said, horrible song, of course. Look at here, Kelly Moore Rowland. I know she's been asking me, hey, when are we doing a show? Well, guess what? We're here. We're ready. And Byron's got some things he wants to talk about here in a minute. Angel Garrison Griffiths is watching. Your mom says we have been to Monticello, and it's beautiful with so much history. Absolutely. Lisa, Union County Band did that one year when Lauren was a Tigerette.
Mr. Roboto?
Yeah.
Is that what you're
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. The AARP tour, yeah. Patricia Portis is watching. Dwight Island says, I wish I was there. I like the older crowds better. Yeah, no, Dwight, I assure you, you would have liked it. And somebody did ask me, and I'm gonna, okay, so I've been, y'all probably have. Have y'all ever been to St. Augustine Amphitheater to see a concert? Have you ever been? Okay, you've been. Okay, yeah. So you have, but y'all haven't been to Daly's Place, have you?
I have not been to Daly's Place.
Okay, Daly's Place is sort of newer. It sits on the back of the south end zone, so it's butted up to Everbank Field with our Jaguars. And it, it extends, and then there's an amphitheater there. And I'm gonna tell you what, me and Shelly actually like that place better. The seats were a little more comfortable. It was a little bit more cozier. Not that I don't like St. Augustine Amphitheater, because I do. I think it's a great venue too. But the seats were all padded and everything. It was really good. We wasn't hurting or anything. You know what I mean? Some of the old people doing some stuff up there.
I'm going to give this. Probably would not like it about 3/4 of the way through the concert, but I really would love to go back to the old Jacksonville Coliseum.
Yes.
And actually not have to be seated at all.
Mm-hmm.
Select a seat, which means you took your ticket in there and you walked and sat wherever you wanted, or you just walked down next to the stage and watched the shows from the stage.
Yep.
I miss those days.
I do too. Ask about a certain concert in my car, Mom said.
Concert in your car?
Ask about a certain
concert
in my car. You know what she's talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
So does Channel 4, and so does anybody watching it from there.
Lisa Moody Thompson said, me too. Shirley said, Byron, I can only imagine. I may have heard the story. Yep, Dwight, I'm sure you have. So
me and my cousin Ben and Carl Ritchie and Johnny Ritchie and I believe one of our girlfriends, maybe two of our girlfriends, went to see Queensryche and Suicidal Tendencies, both of them heavy metal bands, when I was about 18, 19, something like that. And we took Mom's car. Well, it flooded, and it flooded in front of Channel 4. And I drove the car through a spot I shouldn't have drove the car through, and it stalled out in that water puddle. And Channel 4 just walked out the front door and videoed us of me and my cousin Ben getting out of the car to push the car out of the puddle. It was almost up to our waist, and I didn't realize it was that deep. Didn't hurt the car at all. Didn't do anything, but we famous from doing that. I'm like, God. So they remember that story.
Yeah, of course. They remember all those.
But nobody wants to talk about the fact that I've been in the USA Today for playing gigs in Gainesville, but that's okay too.
Yeah. He said, Dwight said, I'm sure you have. I know, yeah. He said, I knew the Ritchie brothers were involved.
I don't know if Johnny was with us or not, but I know it was me and Ben and Carl. It may have been Johnny too. I think Johnny was with us. And by the way, the concert was unbelievably good. One of the best concerts I've ever been to.
Yep.
It was that good.
So anyway, I'll get off that and we'll move on. Again, welcome into the show if you're just now joining us. Thank you for all the comments. Yes, we are back. My host there, the Byron Bagwell, back there doing something there, trying to find something. Is the super dancing destroyer over there, Mr. Dave Holland, running and producing the show. I'm your host, David Rodgers. God bless you guys. Thank you for joining us. Wanted to open up with that, Byron, but I wanted to get into some other things too. What are we running on here? We're running on almost the 8 o'clock hour, Byron. We've been talking about this for about 57 minutes. That's crazy.
And what I would like to do, David, if it's all right with you, is I would like to get into some of the stuff you were talking about with sports.
Yeah.
And then I would like maybe 5 minutes, because I want to read something to everybody. And then I'll leave that as a teaser, and we'll come back to what I wanted to talk about, because it's going to take me a while to talk about.
Okay. All right. So, Dave, can we go to a commercial break real quick?
Yes, sir.
All right. I know you were back there messing around, and I appreciate it. Let's go to a commercial break. Let's pay a couple of bills, and then we'll be back, and we'll talk about a couple of things, like Byron said, that we wanted to get into tonight. Thank you again for tuning in.
Hey Tornado fans, this is Kurt Miracle of Miracle Automotive and Towing, proud sponsors of Tornado Football. I want to welcome you to beautiful Stark, Florida at David Hurst Stadium, and thank you for letting us be a part of this community. We're here for more than your automotive and towing needs. We're here to be part of Tornado Country. Go Big Red!
Welcome back to the show. My name is David Rodgers, right along with D. Byron Bagwell, Mr. Dave Holland. We are known as the On the Spot with David Rodgers crew. We're known by other names too, some that I can't say on air. There is some that I can say on air.
Okay.
We are, Byron, the new? Remember?
High priests
of the church
of the painful
truth. Thank you, Neil Bortz. Yeah, okay. We are known as what else?
The defenders of.
Yeah, go ahead. You had
defenders
it.
Of the Republic.
Yeah. So we're known by these names. I don't want to tell you what other names we're known by. I've gotten some of them on some posts.
Who cares?
Yeah, I was just going to say, keep your opinions to yourself. So Lisa said, good night. She going to bed? Oh, no, she's talking to Dwight. Good night, everyone. Good night, brother. God bless you, my man. Thank you for
Dwight, you may want to hold on for just a minute, because you might want to hear what I'm about to say.
And you can take it to bed with you.
Yeah.
Go ahead, B. I'm going to let you go and read that.
Dwight, I hope you're still on. I wanted to do a segment tonight on what's going on with the judges in the district courts that are basically stopping the executive branch of our government from performing its job, which is, by the way, is not what our founders intended for those judges to be able to do. There'll be people that will argue this point, but I'm going to let a former president, politician, lawyer, and the man who wrote the Declaration of Independence say a little bit tonight about that, and then I'm going to come back to this, because there's a whole laundry list that I wanted to talk about this nonsense. This was in a letter that he wrote. You seem to consider the judges as the ultimate arbitrators of all constitutional question. It is a very dangerous doctrine indeed, and one which would place us under the despotism of an oligarchy. Our judges are as honest as other men, and not more so. They have, with others, the same passions for party, for power, and for privilege of their courts. Their power is the more dangerous as they are in office for life and not responsible as others functionaries are to the elective control. The Constitution has erected no such tribunal, knowing that whatever hands confided with the corruption of time and party, its members would become despots. It is more wisely made all departments co-equal and co-sovereign within themselves. That is Thomas Jefferson's thoughts on judges. He had to deal with what Donald Trump is dealing with right now, and I'm just going to leave it at this because I don't want to go much more into it. He passed a act that come out of the party that he was in, control over the Congress and the Senate, called the 1802 Judiciary Act. Right. He literally disbanded some of the district federal courts and replaced them. And I highly suggest, and people are going to say I watched Mark Levin before I say this, but I had these thoughts when Mark Levin said this, and I thought, this guy beats me to the punch with everything that I want to say, which is a great thing because the man is extremely intelligent, and I'm not a lawyer, and he is. But I would highly recommend to the Republican Party, you take a look at passing a piece of legislation like this, because I can tell you the district federal court in New York is corrupt as crap. It should be disbanded. And I can tell you there's a couple other ones. And also highly recommend that you start using the Supreme Court in that sort of manner too, because they actually made the Supreme Court justices go to the individual district courts and oversee their decisions. I would highly recommend all of that. I get so furious when I think about what they're doing to our Constitution, because it was not meant for a federal district court to be able to usurp the power of the executive branch. Now, that being said, okay, fine. You could say they're not able to do it, and then it has to be drugged through a process all the way to the Supreme Court. Well, by the time that happens, they can't hardly perform their function anymore, and the reason they're using what they were using, especially on immigration, illegal immigration, it's too late because these people scattered to the four winds.
Yep.
And I wanted to say one more thing. We had a MS-13 gang member that our government knew was an MS-13 gang member that the Democrat Party came out and supported and actually went to Venezuela to get the guy to come back. Not only that, he beat his wife multiple times. It's all recorded. Every single bit of it's recorded. They knew he was a gang member. They knew he had assaulted his wife multiple times. She is on TV trying to get him to come back after he beat her like that. Excuse me. And yet the Democrat Party wants to come out in support of a gang member who beats his wife.
Yep.
What type of bizarro world do we live in when we have a political party that will allow its members to do something like that? They've lost their minds, David.
Well, here's my thing, and I'm not going to steal your thunder with this because I want you to get into this a little bit more when we decide to get into that here in just a few minutes. Here's my problem with this whole. Me and you talked about this a little bit this morning about the homeless, and I'll bring that in for just a second. Back when I was growing up and everything was hunky-dory and I thought everything was just even keel, you know what I mean? I really care about the homeless. I didn't really care about those kind of problems, you know what I mean? I had my own things I was doing. I didn't look past that. I didn't look into any further than just what I've heard and what I've seen, and I'm just going to do my own business. But, as I get older, I guess I'm getting more sentimental. I guess, I'm just, I don't know. You talked about it. You said, yeah, David, that's true. You get, you're sentimental. You care about things. You care about people. And anybody that knows me, I do care about people. Anybody that knows Byron cares about people, or Dave cares about people. And the reason we do this show is because, my host here, my partner here, knows politics and knows the inner workings of a lot of things that go on within our government. And I'm telling you, we're just trying to raise awareness to you guys of what is going on, and don't fall, I've heard Byron say this, don't fall into the grease trap with all this crap. Make sure that you're reading, make sure that you're listening to people that know what they're talking about, because I'm telling you, man, you could get spun, Byron, somebody was telling me today, you could get spun for 360 degrees or whatever, and the next thing you know, whatever you're believing in or whatever you know is right from wrong, now it's all twisted and back around, and that's how I think people, you know what I'm saying, get complacent of what they're doing.
Well, with the immigration thing, the illegal immigration thing, I want everybody to think about this. Do we take care of our own citizens? It's been told to me multiple times, you don't care about people. Well, I do care about people. The Constitution was written for the United States public. And the just absolute travesty of trying to apply our Constitution to people who are not citizens of this country is unbelievable to me. I mean, I understand our laws have to apply to somebody that's broke our laws and they come in. The suggestion that we should try all these people and they should get a day into court is absurd, because you're talking about millions of people. That is just unbelievable. If the Democrats that want to pay for it, fine. I don't want to pay for that. They broke our laws, and most of them broke our laws multiple times. They need to be ejected is what they need to be doing. And it told if they come back, who knows what's going to happen to you. May turn the population of Texas on you. How about that?
That would definitely work. But, and going back to what Byron said, I just, this world is so upside down. There is no civility anymore with a lot of people. I'm not saying about us, Byron. You know what I mean? With a lot of people out there. A lot of people don't care about you, or about me. They don't give a rat's ass that we ain't got food, or that we can't pay our bills, or we can't do this or that. When back in the day, when I grew up, and probably even when Shirley and others grew up, it was, you could go to your neighbor. If you needed help, your neighbor was already offering. You know what I'm saying? You may not take it, but he or she was already offering. Those days are absolutely gone. Everybody's got their own agenda. Everybody's got their own deal. Everybody's got their own thing. And it's all really, and we was at the lunch table today. You know what it's all driven by? Byron?
The media.
The media. Well, of course, this. But what else?
The media is driven by money.
If you've got this, Byron, I hate to say it, you got power. If you've got a lot of this, you've got power and you've got say. And look, some of that crap we know is definitely wrong. And we know that, but if you've got this, you can make your play on what you want to say.
Here's what I'm going to say about that. Along with our capitalist system is designed in a certain manner to be exactly what you're talking about. If you've got money, you're going to have more power.
Yep.
What it's also designed to do, because everybody has a voice in this system, is that if the people that have that money are in power, the populace has the ability to control that.
Of course.
Now, people are going to say, well, what about Elon Musk? You can't do anything about Elon Musk because he was a presidential appointee.
Yes.
If you have that much of a problem with Elon Musk, get rid of Donald Trump, which you can't do for another 3 years. But that's okay, because guess what? He won an election in an electoral landslide and won the popular vote. The answer to that is the majority of the American people wanted his policies. So, look, there is a whole lot of things that have gone on since the last time we did this show, and for me to sit here and talk about it, we could be here for hours, 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah, we sure could.
And
not hit it all.
Look, I can tell you right now, if I was Elon Musk, I would, and Donald Trump asked me to come back again to be the head of Doge in another couple of years because of how well he performed in that spot, my answer would be no. Simply because of the threats on his life, because guess what he did? He exposed a whole bunch of corruption. And any American that is not furious over the amount of money, well, he didn't find the $300 billion. It doesn't matter. You're still talking about close to $100 billion worth of our money, not the politicians, not the parties. It doesn't matter which one. Our money.
Our money. Yeah.
Also found millions, not millions, thousands of people who are still registered with Social Security that have been dead for years and years and years. It was a person that was 200 and something years old on it that was older than the Republic itself. There is an issue. We have an issue with Washington, D.C. They know how to play games, and both sides of the party knows how to do. Parties do know how to do this. So what they do is they funnel that money into their pet projects, and then it comes back to them through 3 or 4 different hands. Is what happens. It needs to be followed, and the people that are doing that need to be put in jail for the rest of their lives. And I'm putting that mildly because that's not really my thought. My thoughts is about a gallows on the White House lawn. But that's not how we do things.
Well, you know how
Gitmo.
You know how big of a percentage of our government would be lost if we did that?
Good. Yeah. And my answer to that is good. It was never meant to be this big.
The government is too big.
It's too big. It's too big. And I understand what you're saying. There was a post I read about a letter that came from Ford or somewhere like that. That if they actually prosecuted for just one thing, 3/4 of the Democrat Party would be in prison. Sitting in prison, it would cause them to be defunct. And my response to that was, if they did it and it was a crime, they need to be punished for it. Because we sit back as average citizens and know that if we did the same thing, we would be sitting in a federal penitentiary for 20 or 30 years.
Well, I know you said Democrat, but
Republicans, it does not matter. Independents, it does not matter. If they have committed crimes, they need to be put in jail. And I don't care, because I'm a Republican, I don't care if it's Republicans. If they committed a crime, they need to be sitting their butts in jail. I don't care. And you can say, Donald Trump, 34 felonies. Guess what? Those 34 felonies are now gone. The appeals court rejected every single one of them. He is not a felon.
So I want to say something right there about that. And this is the problem with our politicians. This is the problem with the United States. This is the problem with the world. What he just said right there. Hey, 34, what'd you say?
34 felonies are completely gone. And I sit there.
But there's people that said that's wrong. No. You know what I'm saying? That's wrong. How did 34 felonies just wash away? We don't think with common sense anymore. It's when it comes to those things, it's not I have this agenda or I have this agenda. In that case, it's black or white. It's right there. You know what I'm saying? It's either that he's a felon or he's not. Don't worry. Everybody wants to put an agenda to why his felonies are gone. Do you see what I'm saying? Or anything, but those particular felonies are gone. And so-and-so's felonies aren't gone. And that's just both sides doing this. We have no more common sense about how we think and proceed with things. And this is my problem with this whole damn world is that. And I'm telling you, it's that simple. It's that simple.
Well, David, this problem ties back into what I was going to talk about. It ties back into the prosecutor and the district federal court that put those felonies on him in an unlawful way. They were all dismissed because they didn't try the case right. They didn't try the case right. And there was a bunch of people saying, you can't do what you're doing. And they did it anyway. And then the media and everybody else went, oh, he's a felon. No, he's not. You tried the case wrong. You tried to railroad him. And I've said that before, that they've been trying to railroad him. And that's exactly what they did. I'm not even a humongous fan of Donald Trump. I think he was a good president. I think he's being a great president now. But you can't do this to a man and his family and not expect there to be repercussions. And I'm surprised he's being as nice as he is with this. Well, because it would be scorched earth if I was Donald Trump. Every single secret in Washington, D.C. would have been out the first hour that I was president. I would have put out every single piece of classified information on anybody in Washington, D.C. that committed crimes. Every single one of them. And then I'd have let the American public take care of it.
Well, see, that's the whole thing right there. What I just said in a nutshell, you just broke it down. What I said in a nutshell. Look, we're just one entity here. We are a small podcast that tries to bring a great show, great information to our people, our American people. And I wish it was shared more with everybody, because I'm telling you right now, we can't just do it ourselves. We've only got so many amount of time or whatever to get our points across. You know, we're not on a podcast each and every day, you know, like some of these others are. But we're just one entity to get information out that we feel is the right information, and it's the truthful information and the best information we gather. This guy just don't rattle stuff off the top of his head. He does, because he's smart and intelligent, but he researches everything that he talks about, and he knows what he's talking about. And I'm sick and tired of people, Byron, until that gap is closed in. This is going to be topics that are going to be carried on by more people than us for years and years and years after we're gone.
Well,
and guess what? Nothing's ever going to be fixed. This side is right. This side is right. This side is wrong. This side is wrong.
Somewhere in the middle. It's somewhere in the middle.
In the middle.
This country was founded as a center-right country. Period. Not right-wing, not left-wing.
No.
It leans center-right because of the style of government we have.
Well, right.
Period. The government was designed not to have that much action, but we just seem to, the politicians have figured out ways to get around it, to do whatever they want to do. And it's a shame. I did want to say one more thing about all of this really quick, David, before we go on.
Yeah.
I look at all of this, especially with that court case with Donald Trump, and I truly feel sad for people who don't have money that are involved with the court system now, because you can't win.
No, you can't. No,
you can't. If you have something major going on and somebody is after you, you cannot win. And I want to tell you something else about the media. They have learned a maxim from a very evil person that says, tell a lie enough and it becomes the truth. And they lie to manipulate what they want to manipulate. It's a shame. It's a shame. It's like what they did during COVID. It's a shame that they lie about that stuff.
I'm going to go over some comments real quick, and then I'm going to talk just a couple of little things, and then I'm going to let Byron have it for the remainder of the show here. Let me see. Where did I lose it here? Oh, good night. He said good night. Jennifer is on. Judith Young Sally's on. Do you know that?
Hey, Judith.
Yep. And Shirley says, David, you are certain. Yeah, I appreciate that, Shirley. Hey, we all are. You know, we try to be. We try to do the best that we can. And your son is as well. You know, great upbringing right there. Your lovely bride said, I'll call her lovely bride maybe one day. But anyway, hey, she said, you're a very intelligent person, Byron. Well, yeah, I definitely know that for sure. Your mom agrees with what you said. Illegal immigrants are not U.S. citizens. They don't deserve anything. Great. Yep, I agree with you, Lisa. Absolutely.
They deserve to be deported. That's about it.
Yeah, and that's the truth there. Mark Goody's watching. Cliff Smelly's watching. We have family who became Americans legally, Shirley said.
Yes, we do, and I know plenty of people who have come through doing the right process that have become great citizens. Really great citizens of this country. Some of them have served in the military. Some of them that I know personally have served as teachers. It's not about you come immigrating to this country. It's about you entering this country illegally.
Correct. Did Mark Goody see you yesterday?
Yes, I saw him. Yeah. I saw him at Circle K.
Hey, he said, Byron, it was good to see you yesterday. Hey, Dave.
It was good to see you too, Mark.
Dave, you know this one? Karma never misses on. You know who that is, right? Nicole's friend.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she says, yes, times are not the same anymore. Folks definitely used to help each other. Hello, Mr. Rogers and everyone. Hello there, Carmen Nevermiss. How you? It's a longer trip, process, and designed to protect the integrity of our country. Yep, come on. Yeah.
It's designed not to work, not to work in a fast fashion at all, with the exception of the ability of the executive to enforce laws. I mean, it's the only thing that's designed to work like that.
Mitchell Gunner said, Dems are putting their party ahead of America.
And some Republicans are doing
it too. I was just getting ready to say are doing it too. Yeah, that's exactly right. What was the machine? Oh, what? What was the machine gun sound over Stark about an hour ago that my family's talking about, and they ran outside? Ooh, I didn't hear anything. Did you?
No,
I don't.
Ooh, I'm not sure. If anybody's got some news on that, we'll take it.
Yes.
Yeah, we would love to report that. I mean, I didn't hear. Have you heard anything?
If you want to know the honest truth about what it could have been somebody in their backyard shooting one off.
Yeah, could have been. Yeah, could have been. Yeah.
I've heard crazy things go on. You know.
Yeah, Lisa said yes, they are putting their party ahead of America. Mark, he said, it's either a boy or a girl. Yeah, I'm going to get into that subject next week. By the way, I had an argument with somebody.
A boy or a girl?
Yeah, what he's trying to say, it's either a boy or it's a girl. There's no in between.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
That's it. Yeah, I'm gonna get into that.
That is an absolutely great way to put it.
And we're gonna get into that next week. I'll save that for next week because I want Byron to. Because I had an argument, and I'll just go real quick. Had an argument with a couple of people at work about this same subject, and they could not prove one iota to me about this subject, why they thought this and that, and I won't give it all away right here. But I laid into their tail, and they was like, okay, well, I still don't believe it. Okay, well, I just got one thing for you. And that is, gentlemen, that I was talking to you about, is called DNA. When you can tell me that you can change DNA, you may be able to get me to believe it. I don't know, but I doubt it. But it's DNA. I don't care. Listen, I'm going to use a little sentiment here. I'm going to make you laugh for a minute. I don't care how you dress up a turd. Guess what? It's still a turd. At the end of the day, and I'm gonna make you laugh.
You're gonna get much.
I'm sure. Hey, once a turd, always a turd. I don't care. You can put clothing on it. It's still a turd. Okay, and I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Okay, in all seriousness,
somebody's laughing about that. Well, yeah, I'll
get into this a little bit further, but in all seriousness, the term gender dysphoria is still a valid term. And what you're doing when you support people that think they can do that is you're furthering their mental illness. And that is a sad thing. And I'll leave it alone because I'm going to keep on going and I'm probably going to get us banned from Facebook for the next 3 years for saying something like that.
Well, I'm sure that.
But it's true. It's sad. These people are not sane.
Yeah, Shirley's laughing. She said that was too funny. The last time I saw you, David, I seen a young man's clothes in a local store, so I didn't approach you. Should have. So many very intelligent people have been brainwashed. Absolutely, Shirley. I'd shoot you. David, you were buying somebody that was not your child apparently, and you was picking out him some clothes, and I was
not DNA, but it's
chromosomes. Yes. So thank you,
and thank you because I was trying to think of that while ago, and it couldn't come into my head.
Who said that?
Swimming from all that judgment.
Who said that?
Mitchell.
Did he? Yeah. That's what. Yeah. So, you cannot change chromosomes. That's it.
Can't change chromosomes.
So, which chromosomes, if I'm not mistaken, to correct me if I'm wrong, it's part of DNA, right? It's part of DNA structure.
You can change DNA. You can't change chromosomes. You cannot. You cannot change X
chromosome. You can't do that. So there'd be more chromosomes. Yeah, you're right. So,
but you want to anyway.
Yeah. So we'll get into that, and Byron, me and Barry, we'll tear that up next week. Just did want to go over a couple of things. Do you want to talk about that spring game real quick, Byron? We'll lead up to that, and then I've got a thing here, and then you can go into the last part with about the judges.
Well, Bradford County had a spring game.
Yep.
It was, to me, it was a good football game from to watch a football game perspective.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of people at that point were saying they didn't look good, they didn't look this, they didn't look that, and I'm sitting here thinking they haven't even gone through their summer drills.
No. Matter of fact, they start that Monday. By the way, yeah.
Brand new quarterback that's going to be a sophomore this year. New receivers, new running back, new offensive line, new defensive line, new scheme for both of them, and they still beat Swanee. Yeah. And beat them pretty badly. It could have been worse than what it was.
It could have been worse. You're right, B.
I watched that and went, there are things they need to work on, but there is a lot of good things that's going to happen this year. And if they keep it together, they're going to make a run in the playoffs again.
Yes, they are.
Barring injuries. I looked at David and said, barring injury, this team's going to be a playoff team again. And they're going to be. And they may even be stronger than that because we may be getting an influx of players from a very close neighboring county here in just a little while.
Yep, and I know some. I'm glad you said that, Byron. I'll put back just a little bit on that. I do know some players that have already came back, and I do know some players that's already went to Lake City. I know they're great running back. I wish we could have picked him up, but anyway, he went over there to Lake City. There was a defensive tackle that went, and there was one other, and then we got an influx of players, and we're probably going to get more, but. I'll just keep it brief, and we can get into that when I know more. Byron, I know you hadn't seen some comments. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't personally know what's going on in Union County as far as I do know what's being said and what we see that's being reported. I don't know anything internal of what is going on, but there's a lot of issues within the Union County School District. Their superintendent over there, I guess, is getting a lot of heat from all this. I don't know if he may, Byron, any of these, and he's going to get more. I don't know if, again, I don't, because I don't know, and you don't know really either, I don't think, unless you want to.
I don't. I know what I've seen.
What we've seen and what we've read.
What I've seen from that school board meeting, which or I don't even know if it was a school board meeting. That meeting about the football coach where they announced
that was last night or the night before. Yeah.
Yep. Announced the new coach, which didn't make much sense, but that's another story. I know he was involved with football, maybe a little bit here.
Yeah.
And but he's really a baseball coach, is what he is, which made zero sense. There's something going on that we don't know about, but I guarantee you, the people of Union County. They're gonna find out, and you know, I went to school with Mike Riplinger, and Mike's a very intelligent person, and I for the life of me can't figure out what in the world is going on with him, and it's got to be something political. That's the only thing I can come up with. These moves have to be politically based in some way or form or another.
Yeah, and Byron, we talked about this at nauseum at lunch the other day. We all pitched in on several things that we thought and what we've heard. I think Byron is right. I think this had to be something to do political view. I think money is definitely, of course, money drives everything. So I think there was some. I think there's money issues. I don't know where it's going. I don't know what's happened to the money, but I do know some things that are going to be affected by that. And that one of the things that I heard is, and it's unfortunate, David, how about this? No summer school probably in Union County. Can't pay the teachers or don't have enough funding to pay the teachers. You heard about that too, right? Yes. Yeah. And that is very sad. About what Byron said about the football players and the football team. I mean, you know.
There was actually talk of actually not having a football program this year.
I don't think they are. That's still in works.
Well, I can already tell you they've got 20 people that I've heard they have 20 people. That was the number I was told. And you can't, there's no way you can, there is no way 20 people are going to be a football squad all year with injuries and everything else. You can't, that's just not enough, David.
You had a coach that had a 77% win rate in 5 years.
You don't fire.
Took them to 2 state semifinals. Could have easily been in championship games if they won either one of those. And you fire a man like that with that kind of winning percentage and those kind of numbers and those kind of things. Look, I don't know. And again, I don't even want to say this. Is there more into it to the story that we don't know about as far as some kind of things with others? It could. I don't know.
Well, that's what I was going to say, David.
Yeah,
that was one of the things that I was going to say. If he's done something wrong, this is not the way you handle that.
No.
You left, especially with a winning head coach.
Yes.
If he's really done something wrong, there has to be an investigation going on, and you say, due to the investigation of this going on, we're going to let him go.
Yeah.
And then the people are not going to be up in arms trying to remove you from being the superintendent of a county. Because, I mean, I guarantee you can't do anything about it, apparently, unless you go to the governor of Florida.
Correct.
But I guarantee you there are going to be people going to the governor of Florida because of all of this mess.
So it was not a school board meeting, I don't think. School board meeting is, I think, next Monday. I think this was a meeting called by Ripplinger to announce the new coach, which I know very well. I'm good friends with him. I actually like the guy. Lamar Waters is a great person. I got to be really close with him when he was here. He was the AD here for a while, and he did assist, like Byron said, with Coach Brian Tomlinson and the football program here. He was one of the coaches, but his forte is, like what Byron said, baseball. He is a baseball coach.
And plus,
that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
It doesn't make any sense from going from a coach that wins that much to going to a person that has no head coaching experience. If he was becoming the defensive coordinator or offensive coordinator or something like that. Okay, sure. I get it. But
I get it.
There is something really odd going on in Union County right now.
Yeah, and again, it's just not revolving around athletics and the football team. I'm hearing, about the summer school. They're not going to have summer schools. They can't afford to pay the teachers that need to hold these classes. Probably the bus drivers that pick up these students, right? Don't they run a route for summer school? Byron, I don't know.
Yes, they used to. I don't know if they some places do, and some places don't because of funding. I don't know about that there, but I just wanted to speak a little bit on it because
me too.
Because
from a bunch of
I places,
did.
And it's like none of it makes sense to me because it's something is going on behind the scenes, like what Mitchell just said. Or this is a very, very political move, and it's not a good one. It's just not. If you want to commit political suicide, do things the way that you're doing, like he's doing, and it just makes no sense because I've known Mike Ripplinger since I was I've known him since I was in school. He's a very intelligent person. It just makes no sense that somebody would do something like this.
Well, you definitely don't have to worry about Union County. Lisa said, Jonathan Davis is watching. Thank you for coming on, Jonathan. Appreciate it. Rip needs to go. Mark Goody said, we know. It seems the only one that knows what's actually going on is Ripplinger, and he's not giving an explanation. And the explanation that he is giving, he's giving explanations. It's just very surface type comments. You know what I'm saying? There's no meat to them. I mean, it leaves what Byron said. It leaves me wondering what else is going on. Well, I guarantee you what he said. Even Cliff Smelly said this. What he told him and what they put in the paper. There's got to be something deeper than that. And again, is there an investigation going on? I don't know.
He should say.
So
he should have said that, and he said, "I'm going to let him go because it looks like I can't comment on whether he did this or not."
Correct, or whatever it is.
And it doesn't look good. Fine.
Right. Fine.
I can tell you something else that doesn't look good is the other coaches leaving. You do that, and then all the other coaches leave instead of staying with the new head coach.
Yeah. Well, because they, in their eyes and in their mind, they must know something deeper than we know, and they know whatever reason he got let go was unjustified in their minds. So guess what? They joined the bandwagon and they left too. Why wouldn't you? I would.
I would be afraid for my job if I was
Correct.
If I was coaching under a head coach that had that winning percentage, and then all of a sudden he was gone. I would stay in Union County, and I also wouldn't come back to Union County while Mike was there. But that's another story.
That is another story. Yeah, right. So Rip was glad to see Dave back. Miss Shirley Bagwell said that to you, Dave.
Hey, Shirley.
Not only that, I believe he taught history here in Bradford County.
Exactly right. Here we go. Rip was a well-loved teacher when I was in high school. My son graduated from UCHS, and Rip was a well-loved principal then. Now he's been super. No one wants him around. There may be things going on, as you said, what Mitchell said, that we have no idea about. Allow him to leave instead of being fired. A few rich kids winning because they don't like the coach, supposedly because he's too tough. I did hear that. I work with a lot of guys that live in Lake Butler, Providence area, and they go to Union County. I heard that too, that some of his stances were a little too tough, and kids whining and going to their parents, and I guess they put this in Ripplinger's ear. Again, I don't know if this is true or not.
It's football.
It's football.
Not supposed to be easy. That's not what.
That's not, and that's exactly right. When I was playing, hey man, it's blood, sweat, and tears. Don't go crying to mama. If you go crying to mama, guess what? You're off the team. See you later. Bye. See you later. Now, with what you were saying about the times, and we talk about the times now, I mean, you go and and then now somebody's telling somebody else. Now it's getting up to Ripplinger or whoever, and it's just a free fall of bull crap that starts something that should have never been started.
Well, if you're talking about
this is the worst problem.
One of the two big people in Lake Butler having a child or grandchild or some relative in there, and they're complaining of that, and they've gone there and done that. Not only have they ruined a coach's career in Union County, but they're going to ruin Mike Ripplinger's career because he listened to him.
Right?
Because I'm telling you, they want blood. Union County wants blood right now.
So, Mark Goody, teachers are resigning left and right. It's crazy. Wow, they had a total of 200. Yes, they did. Mitchell, me and Shelley was talking about that. They did. They had over 200 students leave the school. Not just football players or students, period.
Wow.
So something's going on.
In protests?
No, just leaving because because they've heard some things going on or something's not going right or whatever. So students and kids left. Let's see. Okay, so I want to talk to you about that, Mark. I'm glad. Dave, you're rocking back and forth. My wife does this when she's stressed. You does not deserve to be this stressed. We'd like to keep you around. You deserve not to be stressed. So I'm gonna tell you, I've always had a habit of that, Mark. It's not stress or anything. I love rocking chairs.
It's nerves.
It's not really nerves. It's a habit. It's a habit. When I'm doing this
or
whatever.
That's like me doing this right here.
If
you watch me do this, multiple times during the show.
Yep. And I just it makes me feel comfortable. Brian's right. It is. Maybe it could be nerves or whatever. Yeah, it is. But I've always loved rocking chairs. And any chair that I sit in, we've been out to dinner before, all of us, and I'll sit in one of those straight chairs, and I'll kick that thing back and forth. It's just habit. Yeah, and one of these days, I'm going to go backwards, and it probably ain't going to be so funny. Maybe funny to you guys. Probably ain't going to be so funny to me.
Not on this floor. It's not going to be
funny. Not on this one.
We got some new chairs in here.
Yep, we did.
And me and you were talking about how comfortable they were.
Yeah.
Rocking back and forth.
They're definitely better than the old ones, which is,
well,
a chair is a chair.
So, real quick with the story. My job was going to throw these 4 chairs away. And I said, no, you're not. I said, I'll bring my trailer tomorrow and I'll grab those chairs. And I said, they're coming to the studio.
Yeah.
Do you feel the padness in there? Feels good, don't it?
Yes, it does.
It does. So we want to be comfortable when doing that. So 5 coaches walked out. Absolutely. All of them did. As a matter of fact, I think, Lisa, we are having the same thing happening in our school system as well. We have teachers leaving and pulling their kids out. So, yeah, Union County's got their problems, but so does Bradford. Bradford's got their issues as well.
Bradford County, Bradford and Union County have always had their problems on and off with that.
Mitchell Gunner, my niece is one more that won't be back next year. My family's putting her in private school. I do it too. Mark Saudi says he does it too. Union County changed their on-campus policy. This past school year, parents are no longer allowed at the elementary school for any reason during the school day without submitting for permission and getting approved in advance.
What?
I don't see. Here we go. This is the kind of stuff that makes absolutely
retarded
no sense to me. You're not even thinking right. Come on, man. What in the HE double hockey sticks is going here? This is ridiculous. Tons of parents would do their kids when that happened. We're pulling our son out as well. I would never believe I would have to do this, Mitchell said. I love football, but I want to see the kids excel in life and have opportunities to make a great living as well. Yeah, absolutely. I do want to say one more thing. But go ahead, and then I'll.
Well, you please do not take this the wrong way, Bradford County and Union County, but I would not have my child of mine in the public school system anymore, period.
So anybody that's affiliated with Union County, Byron, I don't know if we talked about this. Maybe Lisa had mentioned this, but I know Brett Southwell, who I work with, mentioned this because his mama used to work there. When they closed that Tiger Den or whatever, the after school and aftercare program, a lot of this stuff was starting to happen. My guy that I work with, his mom used to work there and was one of the, she'd been there for many years. And I guess they quit funding the program, and now they've closed it down. So there's no more Tiger Den and after school care program over there unless you're going to pay for it somewhere else now. But they closed that, and that was part of the Union County School District's deal and incentive for you to, to bring your kids to, because you would have after-school care program, and even in-school care program, I do believe. I think it was both. But anyway, I know that was some of the issue when they closed that down. Lisa said, yep. So that is true then. So, look, man, we all have our own issues and our own problems. I know that Union County has always been a great school district ever since I've been here. They've always had great teachers, great school programs, great sports. And now, the black eye, Byron, has circulated up on this. And guess what? Now it's not one thing. It's two things. It's three things. It's four things. And the list just keeps growing and growing. And somewhere you're going to have to just say, hey, man, enough's enough. And I think what you were saying about the parents, Byron, probably if they can't get what they're saying across to the school board or whatever it may be, in this case the school board, what did you say? Parents are going to go to the state.
They're going to.
Yeah, they're going to. Oh, Lisa, okay. That makes perfect sense. She said, did you see it?
What'd you say?
She said that was Rip's idea to close that down. The Tiger did it.
Lisa, I talked to you about this earlier today, and I'm going to tell everybody else. There is something else going on.
Absolutely.
Because Mike Riplinger is not an unintelligent person, and some of this stuff that he is doing is motivated by other things than his intelligence. Because there is something politically going on. Somebody knows something about Rip. I don't know. That just makes no sense at all.
So I've got a question for you, real quick. We're having such a good time. Y'all want to do a show tomorrow night too? You want to back up? Can you?
I don't know, David.
Okay, could you be here at some point?
Possibly, but I don't know that. I can't remember.
We can continue some of this conversation. We can research this. We haven't done a show in a while. Why don't we do a back-to-back show? We haven't done that. Are you all right with that?
Yes.
Yes.
As long as David, for some reason, there was something in the back of my head that I had to do tomorrow night, and I don't remember what it was. But as long as it's something I could do another day, yeah.
Okay, well, let's take a look. I'll tell you
what it was, David.
All right, well, look, I'm not doing trivia on Thursdays right now. Look, I'm not doing trivia. Let's take a look at it. If we can do it, we'll put it out that we'll do it. And if not, we'll do it a Thursday night or Friday night. Maybe we can come back and discuss this, because I'm telling you, I see the comments are rolling. People are on this right here. And I think that we need to continue this. And they've got a lot on their mind. You have one child in Bradford and one in a Jewish school. Okay, that's more goody.
The one good thing about what's going on with the school systems right now is if the executive order that Donald Trump wrote this is another thing that I wanted to discuss during one of the shows, because I've got a ton of stuff I've got to catch up with. He wrote an executive order to end the Department of Education, the Federal Department of Education, and hand the states back the control over the school system, which is unbelievably smart of him. It's been in the works for years. Reagan was going to do it, but he got so much blowback from different places that he didn't end up doing it. Donald Trump has done this. We went from being either the number 1 or number 2 school system in the world to being the number 32 or 34 school system in the world. And it's only happened under, guess what, our federal government. So it's
Boy, I'll tell you what, it's 8:45, man. We've been talking an hour and 45 minutes, and I haven't even got to Byron's thing with the judges yet. But that's okay, because we're going to. We're a little bit. So this is what we're going to do, Dave. If you don't mind, can you go to a commercial break, just real quick, a 25, 30-second snippet? And what I'm going to do, Dave, before you go there, is I'm going to let Byron close the show out. I'm actually going to get up. I'm going to give Byron his time right here. Yeah, brother.
No, brother.
No.
Okay, I got you.
So, I need to do this. But anyway, I need to do this. You know what I'm talking about? I need to do this. So, why don't you close out the show? And then, like I said, if y'all want to do a show tomorrow night or Thursday night or Friday night or whatever, we can do it. Man, we've got a lot of stuff to really talk about that we can focus on, Byron. Like I said, get the information and focus on and get a little bit deeper into.
Well, you guys let me know what you want to do.
Oh, absolutely, man. Well, I can't do it without you, brother.
Well, I understand that, but
all right, let's go to a commercial break, man, and we'll leave it over to B.
1, 2, 3.
You can use this.